Indigenous voices in contemporary literature are becoming increasingly prominent in the literary world, and many authors are striving to share stories that accurately portray the experiences of Indigenous people. Indigenous authors have the unique ability to share their own cultural knowledge and experiences, and to create stories that represent their communities in a meaningful way. The Indigenous literary movement began in the late 19th century, when Indigenous authors started to publish their own work. This was a time of great change for Indigenous people, as they faced the effects of colonization and attempted to maintain their traditional cultures. In the early 20th century, Indigenous authors began to gain more recognition, and their stories started to reach a larger audience. Today, Indigenous authors are continuing to push boundaries and create stories that are both powerful and meaningful. Many of these authors are focused on sharing stories of resilience and strength, as well as stories of struggle and oppression. These stories often reflect the history and experiences of Indigenous people, and are often set in the present day. Indigenous authors are also exploring other genres, such as fantasy and science fiction. These stories often incorporate elements of traditional Indigenous culture and beliefs, and explore themes of identity and belonging. Indigenous authors are also exploring the intersection of Indigenous and Western culture, creating stories that explore the complexities of modern life. Indigenous authors are gaining more and more recognition, and their stories are reaching a wider audience. This is an exciting and important moment in literature, and Indigenous authors are continuing to push boundaries and share stories that are meaningful and powerful. The stories shared by Indigenous authors are helping to create a more diverse literary landscape, and are helping to create a more inclusive world.